All right, it is 2 o'clock, so we're going to call our November 12th meeting of the Rules and Open Government Committee to order. Let's start with roll call, please.
Candelas.
Here.
Dwan.
Here.
Foley. Here. Kame.
Here.
Cohen.
Here.
We have quorum.
Welcome to the Rules and Open Government Committee meeting. As a reminder, we expect all attending to follow the code of conduct located in the agenda. Failure to comply with this code of conduct and behavior, which will disturb, disrupt, or impede the orderly conduct of the meeting, may result in removal. Okay, we're going to start by reviewing the agenda for Tuesday, November 18th. Meeting has a 9:30 closed session and a 1:30 afternoon session with the evening session canceled. Consent starts on page 6 and continues on pages 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Section 4, we have the military equipment annual report. In section 6, we have the Climate Smart Zero Waste Element report. Section 8, an easement agreement for the Santa Clara San Jose wastewater facility. 8.2, an RFQ for the the developer and backup developer at the regional wastewater facility, 159 acres. 8.3, the 2026 major events status report. And 8.4, inclusionary housing ordinance Muni Code update. And we have 2 items on land use consent, which are noticed to be heard immediately after regular consent. Do we have any public comment on the agenda?
Yes, we do. We have 4 speaker cards right now. As I call your names, please go ahead and make your way to the podium. Emily, Kyra, Allison, and Blair.
Hi, my name is Emily Ann Ramos from SB at Home. We're asking you to defer agenda item 8.4, amending the inclusionary housing ordinance. We're asking for this deferral to get more clarity on why the city is considering this change. In the 4-sentence reserved for the IHO in the council adopted Mayor's March 2025 budget message, the stated purpose of the proposed changes is to produce workforce housing for working families, but nearly 70% of San Jose's renter households, in the vast majority of whom are certainly in the workforce, fall below those median incomes. The rental market reflects this, as San Jose's apartments' average rent is affordable to people earning about 70% of the median income. Now, San Jose has historically been at the forefront of inclusionary housing on both the state and national stage, fighting for its ability to implement the ordinance through the Superior, Appellate, and California Supreme Courts, as shown in California Building Industry versus City of San Jose. The current IHO was implemented in 2019 with support from a broad coalition ranging from housing advocates to business groups, and championed by then former Mayor Sam Liccardo, he's now Congress member now, and former council member, now State Senator Dave Cortese. It was crafted with extensive stakeholder outreach rooted in robust analysis from both consultants and the city itself, and developed in partnership with the developers of market rate housing to provide flexibility to help them achieve feasibility, all elements that are missing from the process that has led to these newly proposed changes. The IHO continues to produce benefits today. Just last month, the Mercury News covered yet another project delivering more affordable housing under the IHO, the Ficino project near the Berryessa BART station, with 260 new affordable homes. So we hope that you will defer item 8.4 to allow more time for analysis and stakeholder outreach. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, I'm Kira Kazantzis from Silicon Valley Council of Nonprofits. Good afternoon. I'm also representing the Real Coalition. Also asking for a deferral of item 8.4 and hoping that that would be heard sometime in January, definitely after the cost of development study session and hopefully the holidays. We also would like to see some specific guidance for staff in terms of what data should come with the cost of development study so that all the questions that need to be answered to analyze the IHO proposal are heard by council and by the community. Engagement on this item was very anemic compared to what we saw in adopting the original IHO and even changes made subsequent to that. There was a specific outreach made to developers. There was one community meeting which we got 2 days notice of. I was in error in my letter. I said same day notice, it was 2 days, but nonetheless not enough. And there wasn't specific outreach to the community of people who need affordable housing to understand the full impacts of any change to the IHO. Thanks for considering our request.
Good afternoon, Allison Singalani, Director of Policy with SV at Home. We are pretty much always going to oppose taking a tool that is intended to produce housing that is affordable to San Jose families and shifting it to serve the housing needs of people who are wealthier and can compete in the open market. However, that is not why I'm going to ask you to defer item 8.4. City Council has a really difficult job of making a lot of really consequential decisions that affect the lives of hundreds or thousands of people. The IHO produces at least an average of almost 300 units of affordable housing every year. That almost doubles the city's share of affordable housing production, since the city subsidizes about 300 affordable units every year directly. You deserve to be equipped with, and the residents of San Jose deserve for you to be equipped with all the information and analysis you need to be able to make informed decisions and to deliberate thoughtfully. We also deserve to have a comprehensive plan where there's analysis of how these different policies, programs, and incentives that we're passing interact with each other, so we understand and can hold ourselves accountable to the outcomes that they're producing. We can understand which policies are producing which outcomes. We can lean in where those are good. We can back off when they're bad. At this point, we don't have the benefit of any of that. The cost of development study is scheduled to be considered after this policy. So respectfully, we ask that you defer item 8.4 to give time for engagement with the communities that are most knowledgeable and most impacted by this, and so that you can have the information and the analysis you need to deliberate and make a thoughtful decision. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. This is regarding inclusionary housing ordinance proposed changes, and this is a request for engagement and postponement. My name is Jorge Casas. I'm a community housing advocate at the Law Foundation of Silicon Valley. The Law Foundation provides services to thousands of low-income residents each year. The clients served by the Law Foundation need deeply affordable housing, and proposed changes to the inclusionary housing ordinance proposed changes to the inclusionary housing ordinance threaten to reduce deeply affordable housing options. This will result in more evictions, which are already at some of the highest levels of any area in our region, and increased homelessness. Because of these serious risks, the City Council should not change the ordinance before engaging in careful study and analysis. That has not happened and cannot happen unless the Council defers considering the proposed ordinance. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. Blair Beekman. Nice to see good public comment for this item. And good luck with these issues. Thank you that you're going to be addressing warming location issues, an amendment. I didn't quite read what it was about, actually, but it's nice to see it's there. You'll be talking about that issue. People want to show up and talk about warming location issues at council next week. I had a comment on the military hardware yearly report. I'm working on my Bayuwasi issues right now for a better future for Bayuwasi, how to help define that future, understand what it can be. So I've been writing words about Bayuwasi that can be reflective to this item, to the item of the future, how to address military hardware overall in San Diego, in San Jose. In the following years after the events of 9/11/01, It was with the purpose of Bayuasi and programs like this military hardware inventory to develop better practices of accountability, organization, communication, and public oversight. These are simply some of the highest ideals of what this country and our administrative practices should be about. It is how to address better reasoning, positive sustainability, and ideas of peace in a post-9/11 decision-making. And from this, we can be working to heal previous, more archaic concepts of continual war and its use of harm, opacity, secrecy, and divisiveness as how to resolve our community issues. So thank you for this item. It's really important. I hope it's taken very seriously how we work accountably and openly to address our practices. And that way we are not going to war. We're working towards peace and open democracy. Thank you.
Back to the committee.
Okay, thank you for the public comment. And now we'll start with Councilmember Kamei.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all our speakers today. One of the things we know that we're going to get the study session on the cost of development, and that's going to inform a lot of our decision making. I think that we need an understanding of the findings of the cost of development to help us assess any of the proposed changes to the IHO. And so I think that it will give us a better picture of balancing both our housing goals and our development realities, and really get a little bit more data in terms of the decisions that we make. So I would like to move to defer item 8.4 until such time as soon as practicable after the cost of the development study session. And I think it's going to be better for the council to have a more robust discussion and not just in isolation.
Oh, second.
Let me just clarify your motion. I presume your motion is to approve the agenda for next week with the deferral of item 8.4.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second on that. Any other comments from the committee? All right, I appreciate you bringing that up for deferring the item. Obviously, I've been very pleased to see the huge amount of development that's been unlocked in North San Jose and downtown as a result of some of the incentives we put in place earlier in the year, and look forward to hearing more details about how those are working along with the rest of our development plans when we get the study session on December 8th. And then we can come back and in the new year and decide how the IHO, whether or not the IHO needs some adjustment at that point. Just for staff's position, my feeling is that 1 week between there's only one meeting left in December after the study session, really, so it makes sense to defer this to to the new year, and I assume that would be work out okay for staff.
Yeah, either option is fine. We do have room on the December 16th agenda. If you do have specific follow-ups from the 8th, having staff do that work in a short amount of time frame might be difficult.
Right.
But whatever the wishes are of the Rules Committee, we can accommodate.
Okay.
Yeah, it would seem practical to me to have it in the new year and not rush it all. This gives us an opportunity to, sort of take in what we learned from the study session and then not have it all rushed together and have dialogue with the community as well.
Okay, all right. Vice Mayor, it looks like you're...
Which button am I pushing? Yeah, I'm fine with deferring it if it's not deferred too far into January. The first or second meeting, I think, would be helpful to have the conversation. I agree that we need to have the study session first to really understand the impact of IHOs on the cost of construction and development. So I completely support it, provided it's not pushed too far out. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Now, Councilmember Gonzalez.
No, and I just like a friendly reminder for the administration to engage those stakeholders. So to basically close the loop, even after our cost of development study, to keep the conversation with not just us as electeds, but with the administration open. That's my direction to staff.
All right, I think we're ready to vote on this. All right, motion carries 5-0. Thank you all very much. And now we're on to, we have no meeting to review for the week of Thanksgiving, so we're on to our consent calendar. There's 4 items on consent today. We have public comment on consent.
Blair?
Hi, Blair Beekman. I just had a quick procedural question for this. B items usually begin with the public record process. There hasn't been as many public records as of late, and in fact, I've been writing to your public record like every week now through October, writing about my Bayawasi issues I'm working on, and they're not being presented within the public record. So I wanted to talk with City Clerk after the meeting today and just kind of clear up that situation, and hopefully they can be placed at some point. And thank you for your time.
Back to the committee.
I'll move the consent calendar.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Let's vote on consent. Motion carries 5-0, and we are on to open forum.
Blair?
Hi, Blair Beekman. I'm growing more and more uncomfortable in how current Bayawasi and Approval Authority staff are addressing the possible current future of Bayawasi. They're using practices of opacity, vagueness, and following apathy in ways that should be very questionable and that I can speak more to here at another time. Ultimately, everyone wants to work towards a more positive, sustainable future and good goals. I have a simple beginning plea at this time for local Bay Area governments and communities to please have more open conversations, open dialogue, and to ask questions about the future direction of Bayawasi. Bayawasi has at least had the decency to be currently developing a Bayawasi subcommittee process. It can be a legal structured way to invite local Bay Area governments and communities to more openly ask questions and to offer ideas and advice for better understandings in what can be best for the future direction of Bayawasi emergency preparedness, planning, and for Bayawasi itself. I think many people would be in agreement for local Bay Area communities wanting to take the initiative to better understand and decide their own future. And to note, this would also allow for more conversation between local Bay Area governments and communities and how to develop best practices to better address local concerns with current federal administration plans for the future of local Bay Area communities as well. Best practices, trusted conversation, and open dialogue is exactly what the mayors of San Francisco and San Jose offered the current Trump federal administration about the question of additional ICE and federal agents to work in the Bay Area this past October. The current federal Trump administration has listened to and is agreeing to the good reasoning and caring of local Bay Area values and beliefs at this time to avoid more troops and agents. I hope these good ideas and open ideas can be shared across the country at this time. I'm also very hopeful that to consider an open public process of study, review, and open dialogue for the future of Bayawasi and emergency preparedness for local Bay Area governments and communities can respect initial Bayawasi administration ideals and best practices, accountability, and open public review. Thank you.
Back to the committee.
All right, thank you. We are adjourned at 2:18 p.m.